I'm filming this video the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con 2017, and among the new Transformer figures revealed is a little guy by the name of Liege Maximo, which I'll show right here. And his decoy suit bears a striking resemblance to a toy that I have a fond remembrance for from my childhood. Jello again, Aaron here from My Turbo Reviews, and I thought I'd take a look at this guy. Now, if you're a casual Transformers fan, you may be saying to yourself, Aaron, what are you doing with an action figure? This is a Transformers review channel, last I was able to tell. And you're right about it being a Transformers review channel. And this is actually indeed a Transformer. In 1988, Hasbro decided to release upon the world a gimmick known as Pretenders. The selling point for Pretenders was that Pretenders hide the Transformer inside. This is indeed a hollow shell which houses a smaller Transformer inside of it. The idea was, I guess, to further promote the robots in disguise by making people think that this wasn't even really a robot at all. Skullgrin gained some popularity being prominently featured in one of the issues of Marvel's Transformers comic book. And he's an interesting looking dude. His head is a skull with horns. He's purple and gray. He's even got a little skull belt buckle, which kind of reminds me of He-Man figures from that time period. Skullgrin does have some weapons that he can use in this mode, and one that he can only use via his Pretender shell, that being his sword. And he also has a double-barreled gun that will come into play when we get out the inner robot. There's not much in the way of articulation for him. The arms will rotate not quite a full 360 because the horns get in the way, and that's it. But the shell wasn't really designed to be articulate so much as it was to hide the Transformer inside, as it were. Removing the belt buckle and carefully splitting the shell in half will reveal the actual Transformer, which is, of course, the robot Skullgrin. Skullgrin's inner robot does a little bit of compacting to fit inside the outer shell. What we want to do to complete the robot is to flip the feet out, flip the arms around, and there you have Skullgrin in his robot mode. These Pretenders were a little bit of a departure from earlier Generation 1 Transformers in that they tended to be much more simplistic than usual. Skullgrin's robot doesn't have a lot going on in the way of color. There's that same gray and purple color from his outer shell, and he does sport a Decepticon symbol, which I actually ended up adding later on. The original one wasn't quite the same as this one. His outer shell's double-barreled gun will split in two and allow him two single guns to hold in his robot mode. And that's not quite all for the use for these guns, because they really help to fill out his tank mode. And yes, this is a tank, don't you doubt it. Unfortunately, the Pretender gimmick kind of hinders the way the robot looks, because the robot has to be so lean and lanky in order to be able to fit inside the shell that you can't really make much of a vehicle mode, at least not a believable vehicle mode out of it. And that's really all that I have to say about the tank mode. A lot of folks give Pretenders a hard time for their minimalistic design, at least in their robot mode, but when you take a look at that outer shell, it's clear to see where the design budget really went. And I think they did a passable job for 1988. Being so far removed from when they were originally on shelves at retail, it's no real surprise that Pretenders can be pricey on the secondary market. But if you're interested in G1 Pretenders, if you have some already but you're missing a Skullgrin, he's not a bad pickup, as long as you can find him for a good price. And this has been Aaron from My Turbo Reviews, saying catch you later. Oh, honey bears, do you likes that Skullgrin? Do you likes him? Do you likes him? Yeah, she's wagging her tail. She approves.